Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chat from a Hat. I am your host, Josh Brown, along with my co-host,
Caleb Luther.
And Caleb, today we have a very special guest joining us. My wife, Nancy, is here with us, going to talk about our topic today, and our, round applause from a long ways away. Caleb, how are you? How are you doing?
I don't love that's appropriate to wear shorts in mid-February, if I'm being honest with you. But other than that, I'm okay. Dragging
You're dragging a little bit today.
Had to do the energy tea again today.
Buddy,
not jittery though this time, like the first episode.
We're all dragging just a little bit.
A little draggy, It's just at that time of the year, The weather doesn't help either. It's like straight up like 77 degrees outside.
Nancy, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell them.
Thank you for that very wonderful insight.
You're
So Caleb, this week we had a few topical things happen that we wanted to discuss. Paramore dropped a new record called "This Is Why." Caleb, have you got to listen to it yet?
And this is why we liked it. Yeah, I listened to it. I'll listen to it probably 5 or 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not a big Paramore fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just recently. I think what was their last album?
After Laughter.
After Laughter. That was the one that kind of drew me into Paramore.
Mm-hmm.
Never liked their pop punk and emo stuff that much. I don't know what it was. It's just
that's fighting words.
Obviously very
words.
talented, but like genre wise, I guess what they were doing didn't seem as like spectacular to me as like a My Chemical Romance or something like that. But After Laughter really caught my attention, and Hayley Williams' solo albums especially caught my attention because like that was right at the beginning of COVID, and I'm just bored and just like scratching for something. I was like, I need something, and that album came out at the right time, and I loved that debut album of hers. So that made me like really drew me to her and her just what she has coming up next. And so I liked the singles on this album, and I listened to the album, and I'm not a Paramore expert, but judging by what I've heard from Paramore, this is probably my favorite album I've heard from Paramore. Not to say that I think that it's amazing or like a masterpiece or whatever. I still like her debut album more. It's weird because I do think this album is like wildly more appealing than like for the masses than her debut album. But I still find some of like the catchiness of her solo album to draw me in a little bit more. But I think that this album, especially the rhythm section on this album, the bass and the drums is just like incredible. And there's a lot of good guitar licks, and obviously Hayley's vocals are just amazing. I liked it a lot. I think my favorite song is probably Thick Skull, the closing track.
It's a good song.
What did you think of this album?
What
did y'all think of this?
I really like the album. I've only listened to it about 3 times, possibly. But you're right. The bass on the album is. I sent you a message and said like the bass was like stupid because there's just so many catchy melodic bass lines, but it almost takes over the tracks. It takes over the tracks of being.
The mix of bass and drums reminds me, even though there's a lot of like post-punk influence like from like the mid 2000s, because that was big. Like that indie rock sort of like post-punk stuff really took over like the mainstream.
Yeah.
And I don't think that'll ever happen again. But the like I was telling you before, a lot of the drums mixed with bass reminds me of a lot of the more artistic Radiohead albums, like In Rainbows and even the album that came after King of Limbs, which is not a great album, but the drums and bass undeniable.
Yeah.
And liked it a lot. There's still something about it that leads me to not wanting to like re-listen to it a bunch of times. I don't know what maybe it's the simplicity and how short it is. And I think that's all good.
It is a very short record.
It is a very short
record.
record.
Only about 36 minutes.
It is very short. It's pretty standard, like verse, chorus, verse. And like a lot of the choruses, I don't love, with the exception of "This Is Why." I thought that one would get old on me, but I think that's just a great, just like a great single. Yeah,
it's a great song.
But I liked it. I'm excited for their future as a band. They're clearly not wanting to recreate that pop punk stuff they did in their 2000s, and I appreciate that a lot. Yeah. And I just appreciate this new wave of bands from that era not trying to please people that wanted them to do that again. Like
Fall Out Boy.
No, the first Fall Out Boy. That new Fall Out Boy single was good, but I meant more of the My Chemical Romance song really didn't sound like any of their stuff, and especially the Mars Volta. Like they just completely rechanged themselves. What, Nancy, as probably the person that's the most into Paramore out of all three of us,
absolutely.
What did you think of the album?
I always grew up and I was a very big fan of Riot, and I think
Yeah.
it's still my favorite Paramore album. We actually got to go see them during the small audience shows that they did in the theaters in the fall to kind of gear up for the new album. And I got to relive the nostalgia of kind of those old emo songs and things like that. But I feel like the new album really reflects a lot of a more mature emo because all of their fan base is obviously a lot older right now, and they as a band are too. It's the same thing with My Chemical Romance too, is that it's a more mature type of emo, kind of like that quiet, brooding anger versus being outright and loud and,
Yeah.
you know, kind of fleshing out those emotions and feelings and stuff more than just being very loud and very punchy and hitty. It's, you know, the quiet moments and things like that. So I do really like it. I think I'm still more of a fan of the old stuff, but that's just because it's what I grew up with. But I really like it.
Nancy's got that nostalgia.
I do.
That nostalgia.
I got to go see Misery Business perform live, so I mean, I was happy.
Yeah,
Sexist.
the maturity stuff you was talking about, like the closing track, "Thick Skull," which I mentioned was my favorite song. While the majority of that song is soft, I still found that to be eventually one of their heaviest songs, like thematically and what it builds up to musically. I don't know that I think that there's some legitimate anger on this album, but it doesn't come off the way that you'd expect out of an angry album. It's still kind of like dancey, and I don't know. I appreciated that.
Someone referred to it. I don't remember. It was on somebody's Facebook. Called it dance punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked it a lot.
I liked it. It's
definitely worth a listen.
What would you give it out of 10?
Oh, probably give it about an 8. I think it's pretty good. I think it's a pretty solid little record.
I initially gave it an 8. I'd probably drop it down to like a 7.8, maybe 7.5. Still, I liked it a lot. So, what about you, Nancy? 10? Gosh,
I'd probably do like maybe a 7.5 or 8, just because it's not my favorite from them, but it's still really good.
It's very. I mean, it's a very adequate album.
Sure.
And that's saying,
sure.
Like, as someone who's not a big Paramore fan, that's good. That's a good thing.
So, Caleb, this week we also had episode 5 of The Last of Us. You have got to watch it yet. We have not, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people gave episode 4 a lot of flack, and I really, really liked episode 4.
I thought it was good. I think it's just, coming off of the initial high of episode 3, which was just really great. Episode 4 is more of a building towards the next step episode.
Sure.
And episode 5 was that next step. It's to me, it makes a strong argument as the best episode of the season so far. I think maybe just because while episode 3 thematically and just as like its own thing was greater. Mm-hmm. This tells like a really great emotional story while also involving our main characters as well. And if you play the video game, you'll know stuff that's going to happen probably. But I don't know anything about these video games, so I'm watching this stuff. I'm just watching this stuff play out. I'm like, this is incredible. Like this is like it's wildly entertaining and thrilling and scary and also very emotional. So I think it may have been the best episode of the season so far.
Cool. Very nice.
I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
No, I'd probably give that episode like a 10 out of 10, honestly. It was great.
Well, speaking of 7.5 out of 10...
what could this be leading to?
The reviews for Ant-Man also
that's being very generous at 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, the reviews dropped yesterday. Because I always anticipate when these Marvel reviews drop, even though the quality of these movies have gone down, I'm still always looking forward to all these movies. Because they're always event movies, and I like to be involved in these event movies. And almost immediately, the reviews coming out for this were heart-shattering. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it's starting at a 55 on Metacritic. It can only go down. It never goes up.
Yeah.
And it has went down. And it's almost the worst reviewed Marvel movie, if I'm not mistaken. I think if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score, it's the second worst. If you look at Metacritic, it has the worst Metacritic score.
What did you say it was at right now? Did you say
on what?
On Rotten Tomatoes?
At 53.
Yeah, it's still
at
at 50. It's still at 53.
It's at a 50 on Metacritic. It's almost dipped into the 40s. So. But it's very mixed though. You get like maybe like 13 positive reviews, like 17 mixed, and like a handful of negative reviews. So still looking forward to it, but at this point, I just don't know what to expect out of any of these Marvel movies. There's been a dip in quality, undeniable.
By the way, I was asking you earlier about Marlowe, about that movie.
Marlowe.
Marlowe has a 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. It stars Liam Neeson and Liam Neeson. I can't read anybody else that's in this movie. But yes, that's
probably just a very small movie.
Marlowe.
Yeah.
But yes, going back to Ant-Man, I completely agree. There has not been a Marvel movie that has come out since Endgame that has shattered any sort of expectation or exceeded any sort of expectation.
Spider-Man No Way Home was very good.
It was good. Yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't want to say it's great. It's not as good as that initial watch. It definitely loses some of its power on a rewatch, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's still very good. One of the better Spider-Man movies, and I think easily the best movie since Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I saw someone.
I'll agree.
I saw someone say that they should go back and like scale down their movies. I know Black Panther was kind of like, not Black Panther, but Black Widow was kind of like that, but it really wasn't. Whenever it got big and messy there.
Oh yeah. End. It turned into a PlayStation game at the end.
I would say that would be almost the direction to take, to lower the budget and get back down to the root of character and storytelling.
Yeah.
Because these last several movies have just been CG spectacles, and none of these movies have that good a CGI in them. I know Black Panther CGI was a big step up from the first one, but it's still not going to win any awards, you know? No. And last year we had Multiverse of Madness, Thor, and now we have Ant-Man. These are all just like green screen movies. So I don't know. Maybe they should really scale it back and tell more Winter Soldier-y type. Not exactly like that, but
yeah.
I say that, and then here I am super looking forward to the new Guardians movie, but I think that'll be handled right, because it seems with these other movies there's always like a them trying to forward where the MCU is going. Where Guardians has always just kind of been its own thing.
Yeah.
And I think it'll just be a completion of their story instead of just worrying about what's next for Marvel. So.
Well, Caleb, Ben Folds dropped a new song. It's pretty good. Everybody should go check it out. If you're not a Ben Folds fan,
Benjamin Folds,
you should listen to the song anyway because it's very good.
It's good.
Yeah. So that leads us into more music, and the Super Bowl was Sunday. The halftime show happened, and that's it.
That's it.
Nothing special.
That's all we have to say about it. There's always, I always like to, after the Super Bowl halftime show, look back at past performances. And I'm never like that big a fan of any of the halftime shows. Like I really like that Weekend halftime show, but it's always just gonna come down to which artist do I like the most. Because people talk about the spectacle, but the Weekend was more of just like a TV broadcast.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant for the live audience.
Yeah.
Because it was the first one post-COVID.
Yeah.
So it was more so to be like, hey, this is for the audience watching it at home.
Yeah.
Because the Weekend was specifically like singing at the camera to the audience. But I really liked that one, and it just got me thinking, like, who would we want to see perform in the future? To be realistic about who we want to see perform.
So we're not going to talk about
what?
Rihanna's.
It was okay.
I haven't watched it yet.
It was fair. It wasn't the worst. It also wasn't anything special. I really liked last year's where they had some of the old hip hop artists.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It was very nostalgic, but also cool. It wasn't like a big spectacle either. It was just them kind of just together, and I like that a lot. But there was a time when I was one of those crazy people that would be like, why can't they get Weird Al to perform at the Super Bowl? I'm like, that is not possible. You got to find someone who's really bigger than life, which blows my mind why a band like Coldplay performed at the Super Bowl. But usually they try to
talk about Coldplay.
And even Bruno Mars, whenever he first performed, he had not even begun to reach the heights where he was at. Like he became a much bigger artist like sometime after that. So I think that was them sort of like taking a chance on an artist that wasn't necessarily like brand new.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Uptown Funk hadn't come out yet. So
true.
True. Who would you all want to see perform and be realistic about it?
Be realistic.
Yeah. Don't be like I want to.
So Weird Al.
I want XTC to perform at the Super Bowl.
I honestly think that a cool halftime show would be. Now you're gonna laugh.
Maybe.
Green Day and Blink-182. I think both of them together would be kind of cool, just because they were those two bands of that pop punk era, and they did tour together. So 30 years later,
I'm not sure if they're big enough right now. And here's the thing with that is that I'd almost hope that they do playback, because Blink-182 is awful.
Sure,
they are. Green Day is good.
Yeah,
Green Day's a good live band.
I think Green Day
could go out there and play live. Blink-182. they're bad. They're bad. I know they have some great
Yeah.
songs, but as a live band, they're bad.
Yeah.
They're one of the worst.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They're bad.
but
I would not want to watch them play live.
I think that
actually
would,
live.
but I just think as a halftime show, I think that would be kind of a cool
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, that would have been. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't welcome it with open arms
Yeah.
now. I would be like, oh, this is interesting
Yeah.
at least. But in 2003, 2004, that definitely would have been a huge thing
Yeah.
because American Idiot was just coming out, and Blink's Untitled album
Yeah.
had just like broken the world. That would have been a perfect time.
Yeah.
But they just didn't. They were getting like Justin Timberlake.
Oh
or something
well,
like that.
yeah. Justin
What about you,
Timberlake was
Nancy?
too busy
Who
ripping.
would you want to see perform at the halftime? We know.
Clearly, my answer is going to be Taylor Swift,
T-Swift.
obviously. She puts on a really good show. I mean, we've watched a few of her tour videos in a little bit, preparing for the summer. And, I mean, she's obviously very popular, considering, you know, you had a better chance of getting into Harvard than getting tickets to her show. So, I think that she would be a really good one, though.
Why can't we just have Jason Aldean and Morgan Wallen get up there and sing for
Yeah.
30 minutes? That'd be better than a Super
Sing
Bowl.
about trucks.
About trucks.
You know, Taylor Swift, the popularity is definitely there. I mean,
Yeah.
who's more popular than her? So, yeah. But you brought up earlier that she has like a Coca-Cola deal, and the Super Bowl is like
Yeah, I know she
it's
has
like
in
a
the
Pepsi
past.
thing. So
I'm not sure if she still has it, but I know like forever on
yeah.
all of her tours, she had a partnership with Coca-Cola, and it's the Pepsi halftime show. So I don't know if she'd ever actually be able to do it, but it would be really cool if she did.
yeah, I mean,
We all can agree, though, if she did do it, especially if she would have done it this year, it probably would have been like the highest rated, like Nielsen ratings halftime show of all time.
yeah,
no
I mean,
question.
I mean, I didn't know about that Coca-Cola deal thing. I don't know if that's still a thing, but I'm very surprised she hasn't performed at the because she has been a very big artist for like 14, 15 years now. It seems so. I mean, we haven't seen an actual rock band perform since The Who.
Yeah.
I know if you want to count Maroon 5, Coldplay, but nah, they're not. They're a pop artist. I mean, the Foo Fighters are not my favorite band. I very rarely listen to anything new that they put out. But if we're just talking specifically about huge, big rock artists, I think they could do it.
Yeah.
They're big. They're a big band. Them and Metallica. It'd be cool if they got them and Metallica to perform. That'd be cool. But here's the
Jesus.
thing. If it's one of those things where musically, because I'm sure they'd still let them sing, but if musically they're like, no, you got to do playback. You can't.
I don't think Metallica
I don't think
would do it.
Metallica would do it, and I'm not sure Foo Fighters would
Yeah.
do it either. So,
But the thing of it is, though, to me, those bands are so, I hate to say this, melodic and instrumental bands that they do playback because they don't want any failures.
yeah,
If Metallica went up there and James Hetfield's mic cut completely out, they still would be able to put on a great show, just their
I
instruments.
mean, there's times where I'd almost just rather listen to Metallica as an instrumental band.
So
right?
and Foo Fighters the same thing. They're
They have
great.
three
they are
guitarists.
great
Yeah.
musicians.
Yeah.
So if they went up there and Dave's microphone went out in the middle of the set,
Yeah.
it would still be an awesome show, and they would make it an awesome show because they are live performance masters.
Yeah.
And I think a band that can go up there and actually do a live performance, that they should still let them do a live performance.
Yeah, and just think about, like, I don't know how much in advance they plan to have. Cause like I don't know when they announced that Rihanna was going to be the halftime show.
It was
But
like, what, 8 months ago, probably?
so when
7 or 8 months ago?
When did Taylor Hawkins die? Like mid last year, maybe
Something like that,
Something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. That just seems if Foo Fighters, like they've said, they're gonna continue. I don't know. I think that would just be great.
Yeah.
If they brought, it would probably be a very emotional 12, 13 minutes of a halftime show. So, I mean, we got to work with what we got. You know,
That's true.
There's only a handful of like really amazing popular artists.
Well,
out
the
there.
thing is like, I don't know. Next year, who do you have? Who do you have?
That's what I'm saying. Foo Fighters would be cool, but I mean, Taylor Swift is
Yeah.
a no-brainer,
Yeah.
right?
But it's...
And as much as I want to say, like, I'd love if Kendrick Lamar, and he did perform last year, but he only got to do like one song. 'Cause he was with a
He was with
huge
everybody.
body of
Yeah.
people. But yeah, with his type of music, his stuff is just so I don't know. I don't want to call it like raunchy because I don't think it's raunchy. I think that it's very important lyrically, but it would be very sanitized, and that would
Yeah.
suck. They'd have to like edit it, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. I'd rather watch this stuff unfiltered.
Yeah. But that, other than the people that we've named,
I mean,
what star powers?
I mean, you got like Lizzo. Somebody like a Lizzo could perform at
Sure.
Harry Styles.
Yeah, Harry
Bring
Styles.
back One Direction for a little, a little
I think that,
mini reunion.
I think that would be the only thing that would
Right.
bring One Direction back. Is
Maybe,
something that
yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Harry did mention them at the Brit Awards, and so there's people that are rumbling that they might come back together for something. So
There you have it. One Direction is back. They are back.
That's
the
Super
scoop.
Bowl.
That's the scoop this week.
for the Super Bowl,
You heard it from us, from Chat from a Hat.
Chat from a hat. So, Caleb, we've kind of segued away from our topic. Last week we talked about banned books and challenged books, and we ruffled some feathers with that conversation.
I don't think we did.
Which is fine. It was informative. People that didn't know anything about that particular topic learned something. We learned something. And fine with me, as far as I'm concerned.
It was a good one.
Well, Caleb, we are now going to talk about which holiday is the best. The best
In
holiday.
order to do that, you got to cover every holiday.
Oh, no.
Not every holiday. But in order to reach, you can't just jump immediately into this is the best holiday. There's got to be reasons why you view that holiday to be the best. And in order to do that, you obviously got to crap on the other holidays.
Let's crap on the other holidays.
Who wants to start with the holiday? Do we want to go in order of the year?
Let's do the year.
Start the year. So
Sure.
So the first holiday that comes to my mind is Martin Luther King Jr. And that's in January. We've already passed it this year, and it's a holiday that maybe when you're in school it doesn't get highlighted a lot, so it doesn't get a lot of attention. But now where I work with AmeriCorps, that's a national service day for us. So since I've been working with the company I work with since 2019, we've had to work those days, either doing programs or events for kids to inform them and educate them on Martin Luther King Jr. And I've really enjoyed that because I'm 33 years old, but it's always good to learn more than you knew before, because maybe the school system in the past failed you maybe, and you didn't get to learn everything that you wanted to learn. So I think that's an important one to highlight. I know a lot of people probably just celebrate that they have the day off, but I haven't had the day off, and I don't mind that at all. That I don't have the day off, because it's always a pretty good experience for me.
I'll agree. It's a very important holiday to educate people about, for sure.
Yeah.
Nancy, what you think?
Well, it wasn't really something that I focused a lot on until I was in college, and I went to school for journalism, and so even in Huntington, it's celebrated so much more than it is in southern West Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
And so there were a lot of marches and things like that, because there are a lot of professors, there in Huntington that work a lot for preserving Black history, not just for, people like Martin Luther King, but here in West Virginia, there's such a rich history there that is celebrated a lot more on Martin Luther King Day, which I've always appreciated.
Yeah. What is next on the holiday list? Are we there already? Are we at the one that we just passed?
We are at Valentine's
Are we at
Day,
Valentine's?
yeah.
Saint Valentine's.
Since we are technically filming on Wednesday, the 15th,
the
so
day
yesterday.
after Halloween.
Halloween.
The day after Halloween in February.
Or as we call it, the best day, because, Caleb, all of the candy is on sale.
Yes,
so,
it is.
So all
it's something I've never really paid attention to.
All the Valentine's candy is on sale. It is the best holiday. Thank you for joining us here at Chat from a Hat.
Would you say the day after Valentine's is a better holiday than Valentine's?
Yes, completely.
Yes, because it's half off candy day.
It's half off candy.
Valentine's. I know Valentine's means a lot to some people. It has never meant. I think I've been in one relationship during Valentine's Day. That's on me though. I mean, I can't blame anybody else for that. Yeah, I just thought. It's always kind of just
means nothing.
It's always just kind of been a nothing holiday for me.
It's a nothing holiday.
Nothing against anybody that loves celebrating it with their spouse or significant other, but yeah,
people shouldn't need a day as an excuse to treat their person they're supposedly in love with as a. And that's relationship advice brought to you by me.
I just don't care. I don't have enough energy to complain about it or praise it or whatever. It's just kind of another day for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Best thing about Valentine's Day is My Bloody Valentine, the band.
Or the movie.
Shoegaze. No, the band.
Okay.
That's what I did yesterday. I was like, I'm gonna go watch live videos of My Bloody Valentine. I regretted it instantly because it's just loud chaos.
Well,
what is next?
That brings us to President's Day.
Is that a thing?
That is a day.
Is that a day?
Are we counting that as a holiday?
I
don't have that.
I have that day off, so it is a holiday.
So, are schools out for President's Day?
They used to be, because when I was in school, that was always the day I did math field day every year.
I'm pretty sure that
and that's its significance to me.
With the work I do, we don't have that day off because I don't know why we would.
I don't think that they let kids off for it anymore.
It might not.
I'm not sure.
When is President's Day?
It's in
Monday.
February.
Oh, it's soon.
Yeah, it's this Monday.
Okay.
Well, it's Washington's birthday. I'm sorry.
Washington. Denzel?
Yes.
That's the only thing I care about. I don't care about that George guy. Jeez.
What'd he ever do?
What was he, the first?
He's a bum.
He had like wooden teeth or something. Chopped down a cherry tree.
The best thing he did was Hamilton, okay?
Yeah, I was going to say he's the best part of Hamilton, so...
Okay, President's Day.
Now.
We got that out of the way. Nobody
Now.
cares about President's Day.
King George is where it's at.
That's
now.
true.
Okay.
Yeah, that's enough. That's all I can sing of that.
Before we get the
that could have been anything that I sung.
Oh no. I have the federal holidays pulled up, so.
Oh gosh, this is gonna take forever.
There's not many at all actually.
I know.
Is any that you can think of from March until May, other than WrestleMania?
Easter?
WrestleMania.
Oh, Easter! That's right. Nobody cares.
WrestleMania is not a holiday. Easter is another essentially nothing holiday for me.
Let's go watch Peter Rabbit.
Oh gosh.
Caleb just had war flashbacks.
I guess when I was a kid, Easter was cool because we'd go to church and I'd get like an Easter basket and candy and stuff, or I'd go the egg hunt or whatever. But
we apologize for the noise in the background
I don't know
because
if
somebody
is
rocking out and shaking the building with their bass.
They're shaking it.
But Easter, useless holiday to me. I don't
used to be
care.
a candy holiday for me. Now it's
still a candy holiday.
Now it's kind of a nothing holiday. I like Easter colors, like the pastel colors.
Like your sweater that you're wearing.
This
right
is not
now.
that at all. Usually it's like green, light green, pink. This is a turquoise sweater.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mistook that for loud.
Loud. Oh yeah, it's loud.
It's
aqua kind of.
It's loud.
Aqua is not very Easter.
It's loud.
Yeah, Easter. Yeah, I guess if you go to church and if you're a kid, Easter can be enjoyable. But just kind of another Sunday for me. In the Easter when I was a kid, they used to have like a sunrise service for Easter. They would have like they'd have church at like 6 a.m., which sucked.
Yeah,
but. We had a Shoney's at the time, and we'd go to Shoney's after that. And let me tell you, Shoney's had the best breakfast buffet. So to me, when I think about Easter, I think about the Shoney's breakfast buffet, and it was crowded. It was crowded.
A good little memory of the Shoney's.
Man, those biscuits and gravy, it was amazing. I missed
all you can eat biscuit and gravy.
Really, kind of the only thing good at Shoney's. I'm being honest with you. Nothing against anybody that still loves the 3 Shoney's that exist now.
Scott Steiner owns one of those Shoney's. Did you know that?
Does he?
Yes. Oh. Scott Steiner is the manager of a Shoney's.
Hope he's not doing the math for that.
I mean,
did you get it?
Oh, I got it.
Because he has that thing with the
math. I know.
Yeah.
So,
Nancy, what do you think of Easter?
Sorry, say what you thought of Easter.
I don't remember. What did you say?
God.
Say it again.
I like the homemade peanut butter eggs.
There you go.
And that's about it.
See, my mom makes the homemade peanut butter eggs. She makes peanut butter eggs and coconut. So
she's never brought me one.
So you gotta pay. You gotta pay the toll. So they're like they're $20.
Okay.
They're not. They're like $3 or something. But yeah, she invests a lot of money into that. I don't know if she ever gets the money back.
Probably not.
But she just enjoys doing it, and people really like those eggs, including me. I haven't paid for one in years. Sometimes they're just leftovers.
Wow.
They're just leftovers.
I know.
Somebody's got to eat them. But yeah.
And he doesn't bring us any.
I'll bring y'all one this year.
Nope.
Okay, whatever.
Nope.
Nope. I won't then. What's the next holiday?
The next holiday is Memorial Day.
Okay.
Very important.
It's in late May usually, right?
It will be on May the 29th.
It's a Monday, that last Monday of
I believe
May,
so.
right? Mm-hmm. What do y'all think about Memorial Day?
I get the day off. So
I think I do too. Yeah,
so
I get the day off too.
But no, Memorial Day is important. Remember people that are no longer with us.
I know a lot of people view Memorial Day as looking at veterans that have passed away, but my family, right? A lot of people like view.
Yeah.
So we don't. Sure, we have family members that were veterans, but I think at my family we have like a family cemetery past my grandma's house, and we go to that every Memorial Day, and it's just family members.
I've always thought of Veterans Day being the day when you know what I mean, when you honor veterans past, present.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Memorial
saying?
Day should be like everybody.
Memorial Day's always felt like everybody to me, not just veterans and things. A lot of people look at it from that perspective, and I'm just like, that's.
I actually really like Memorial Day. It's one of my favorite. It's like top 4, honestly.
Sure.
Because I mean, I've always celebrated to some degree. There was a stint there when I was 18 to 24 where Memorial Day for some reason would fall on the first day of summer basketball league, and I'd have to play those games, and I'd miss Memorial Day, but I wasn't complaining at the time because I was just really into summer basketball. I was like, it is opening day of the summer league.
Caleb was very good then.
I was very good then,
breaking ankles and his own.
So, but since then, I haven't missed a Memorial Day except for I think the first year in 2020. I chose to. I just didn't go. I was like, it's COVID is a thing, and I'm not gonna. But I enjoy it. My family has we have meat trays. We fix our own sandwiches, and it's a good day. It's a good day that.
Nothing wrong with a good tray. Man.
I agree, man. You get that roast beef and the Swiss cheese.
A little bit of turkey.
You got a stew going.
That's right.
Put some maybe some tomato and some mayo on that sandwich, and get some Frito dip. And that's a good day. Good family day that exists outside of Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's just
Well, past few years we've been doing we do something to your parents, do we not?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually Memorial Day. My dad's birthday is on the 27th, and one of my niece's birthdays is on the 24th. So usually we do the traditional Memorial Day stuff, like putting flowers on graves and stuff like that. But it's also usually the first day that my family cooks on the grill each year, and it's because my dad's favorite thing is barbecue food, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And so usually that's the first day we pull out the charcoal grill and clean it up and fire it up. And so Josh now for the last couple of years has been in charge of going out and flipping the meats and stuff.
That's right. I get to
the meat tray.
I get to be the barbecuer extraordinaire. Get to be the chef.
I was just reminded that my grandpa, he has he hasn't had the same truck for 20 plus years, but he always has a big truck. And one of our traditions, which I have recently frowned upon this tradition because I'm like, this is dangerous, I don't like this. But a bunch of the family members, primarily the kids, will get in the back of that truck to go to the graveyard site. And I don't like that anymore. I'm like, I'm gonna get in the actual truck because it's
Caleb's seen the out of his ways.
It's got a front and a back truck. It's a big truck, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get back there. I don't want to get hit with a branch or fall out or something. But we still do that. We've done that since I was. Ever since I can remember, age of 4, age of 5. So it's another cool thing that I've definitely, I always got on my good shoes, and I don't want to get in the back of that truck and get them all greasy. And I don't want these kids, they don't understand. They're gonna step on my shoes and crease them. I gotta protect that. No, but I do. I did really used to enjoy that, but I've gotten old. Gotten old with my age.
Goodness. Well, next up we have Juneteenth. Juneteenth, Independence Day, actually just became a federal holiday last year, correct?
Yes.
Last year it became.
Juneteenth?
Yes,
was
it
just
federal
last
holiday
year?
Just last year, I believe, right?
So it's June 19th. Yeah.
Is that right? Just last year?
I know it just became a state holiday here in West Virginia recently, so it's been within the last couple of years at least, I would say.
Well, the day before for us is West Virginia Day as well.
Oh yeah, so very eventful week.
Very.
Yeah.
Juneteenth, super important. Should be observed everywhere as not only a federal holiday but a state holiday. Inclusivity is a big thing. Yeah. We all three here honestly believe in that. So yeah, important holiday.
Yeah, it's one
should be celebrated.
It's probably one that a lot of people dismiss or don't think about. And for whatever reason, probably some people would just view it as like a woke holiday. I'm like, no, it is not. It is not that at all. But a lot of people just like to throw around that word for any old thing.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
The chicks are going on tour. I ain't watching none of them woke people.
The chicks,
The Dixie
oh yeah, the
Chicks.
chicks. Yeah, they're not the Dixie Chicks.
They're not the Dixie
anymore.
Chicks anymore. But that.
Oh yeah.
A real quick side note: WSAZ posted that they were going on tour again, and the majority of the comments are like, "Nope, ain't gonna go watch him." The amount of butt hurt in those comments was
they
just.
won Album of the Year in like 2006. Whenever I was looking at that last week's episode, when I was looking at past Grammy winners, like they won Album of the Year. This was like, and that was past the time where, and that was like post George W. Bush, where they were bashing him. It's like, oh wow, that's something.
Woke.
Woke Grammys, right?
Woke. All right, so next up, Independence Day in July.
Independence Day by who sings that song? Is that Martina
McBride?
McBride?
The song that every drunk granny has to get up and sing about because it's not what they think it's about.
But the better Independence Day is by Elliott Smith, and that is actually my favorite song by Elliott Smith. Every year I post that. I post that on Facebook. That's my statement every year on Facebook. Celebrate Independence Day. Like, I'm going to post this very awesome, sad Elliott Smith song. And I'm going to post a live version of it too.
To make it even more sad.
Yeah. I mean, I celebrate it every year. Whatever. My family has that's our family reunion every year. Like literally, like it's the Craddock family reunion on my mom's side.
Yeah,
we book a shelter at the park. Some years it's miserable because it's like 100 degrees. Sometimes it's rainy. Very unpredictable when you have a family reunion outside.
Yeah,
and that's my memories of that.
But the one thing that we all can agree on, the best thing about July the 4th, the pew pews, the fireworks. For the pyromaniacs.
Don't you mean objectively the worst thing about?
No,
when you have
man.
dogs. No, when you have dogs, it's the worst thing.
No, man.
They have to go to they have to go through therapy for a year after that
that's
day.
true. That's true.
It is rough.
They get through therapy just long enough for the next year.
It's not just a rough night. It's a rough week.
That's true.
Because people are like, it's July 13th. We gotta let off these fireworks. Like, come on, guy.
Especially around here.
My dog just stopped shaking. For real, man, they shake like crazy. Gosh, but yeah, it's we have the cookout and all that, and I like to go to the park and go on I like to do my own thing. I'm not a big socializer. I have my social battery is very low, especially around family members that I don't see that often. I'm like, I'll see them at first, like, hey, good to see you, handshake, hug. But then I'm just like drained by hours. Like I need to go.
Don't talk to me.
I'm gonna go on a walk on this trail and just kind of be by myself for an hour.
You gotta watch though. You'll crease some shoes.
I usually put on a lesser pair of shoes in the park. I don't want to. I know I'm gonna be walking in a little bit of dirt. This is important, Josh. Don't make fun of me.
It's his walking shoes.
What about you, Nancy? What do you think of the 4th of July?
Again, it's a barbecue holiday for my parents, pretty much. I missed out on it for a few years when I was in college because I worked for a pizza restaurant, and for some reason, the guy that I worked for thought, yes, everybody is going to order pizza today. People don't want to grill. And so it would be the slowest day of the year. So I would get paid to just sit there and do nothing and fold boxes all day. And it was miserable.
Oh, God.
I think y'all have just completely lost the narrative of what these holidays are about.
It's about bald eagles.
It's about balding. Yes.
Is this Southern Josh now?
Yes. Y'all need to think about freedom.
I was just reminded about all this freedom talk. I was reminded of this thing that has nothing to do with freedom, but about fireworks. So we used to celebrate the 4th of July at my great aunt's house that lives just like a couple miles from me. Still does. And that's where we used to celebrate. We used to have our family reunion there, and they would bring in fireworks from out of state. I had some family members that lived in like Michigan. They bring in some illegal fireworks.
The big boom boom ones.
There was one time where something bad happened. Somebody screwed up, and the fireworks let off by accident, and they were shooting everywhere.
Oh my God!
They were shooting. I'm pretty sure one hit my cousin. One almost hit my dad. They had to dive behind trucks I was just way in the distance. I was nowhere close. I just saw what my little like 6 or 7-year-old brain can comprehend from that time. It was just chaos. It was just fireworks flying everywhere. You know, you'd have to hear their stories about it because they make it seem like it was like war. Mm-hmm. What I just remember is some family members almost perished.
I've got some horror stories about fireworks too.
Fireworks are dangerous, man.
Remember last year for my work, we went to a celebration called Thunder in the Mountains, and it's right on the state border. And Kentucky is able to sell a lot bigger fireworks than you can in West Virginia, and so it's the city that I cover is right on the border. And so we went, and there were people having their own show while waiting for the fireworks to go off. And so in the Walmart parking lot, there were people right beside a parked cars setting off these big, huge fireworks, car alarms going off everywhere, babies crying and screaming. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was our 4th of July last year, so...
Fireworks are insane.
We had one of the I don't know what you call them, the big cannon fireworks. You know what I'm talking about? The ones that you know, like the professional quote unquote firework things. Cousin of mine thought it would be smart to take what people don't know about fireworks, and if you have ever let off these fireworks before, is that each of the particular tubes only really work for those fireworks. Mm-hmm. Well, he got the big idea that he was going to put it down in a PVC pipe, a big long PVC pipe. He got stuck in the middle of that PVC pipe. I've never seen shards of PVC pipe fly that fast. And it hit one of them in the leg, cut his leg. It was
It's dangerous, man.
You think?
These things are dangerous.
You think?
And I won't go near them.
I don't want to.
I won't do it.
I will go to a professional person do it.
I want to go to them.
Stevie Trent, by God, I'll watch you do them all day, but I'm not doing it myself. No way.
Yeah, I'll watch a brave man do it from a distance. That is not me, though. I'm not that brave man.
My dad used to be that brave man, and now he's gotten older and not wiser, but he just will not do it anymore because he knows he cannot keep up with it anymore.
It's like the older, I don't know if it's like this for you, but the older I get, the more scared of everything I become. I become drastically more aware of my surroundings. Like, no, this is awful. Everything's scary.
We've become what's the word I'm looking for? Knowledgeable of our own mortality when it comes to
when I was a kid
to that stuff.
When I was a kid, maybe even a teenager, I would walk up my hill behind my house, and walk up a good distance. I would never do that now. Just the possibilities.
You'd crease in shoes.
Like a guy was walking those mountains last week and broke his leg apparently.
Oh yeah,
and you know, snakes blend in with the leaves. You're going to step on a snake, get bit. You know what? There are black bears in West Virginia. So there's just a multitude of things. I'm like, oh no.
Caleb's going to run into cocaine bear
even
up there.
Cutting the grass in my backyard is questionable. And I'm like, what? I have my headphones on. I can't hear anything. What if a bear attacks me? I'm like, that does not seem logical because bears don't necessarily just do that. But that's where my brain goes now as a person in their 30s. Just scared of everything. And fireworks is one of those things. Moving on.
Labor Day.
Labor Day. I usually don't do anything for Labor Day. I don't.
You know what I'd like to say? Anyone that is open for Labor Day is missing the point.
Exactly.
And,
well, I mean...
Yes.
Okay, so Labor Day, I think maybe last year, my family actually did something, because it falls around the time of my grandpa's birthday. Mm-hmm. So I think we threw like a little party. So it was more of a birthday party for him, but it fell on Labor Day.
Yeah.
So we might do more of that. You know, like every birthday is important now. And whenever a person gets in their 80s, it's like we need to cherish these birthdays.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm not putting anybody down here, but when I worked at the theater's open every day. The movie theater is open. I'm trying to think of a day. The only days they're not open is like if a really bad snowstorm comes, or like if electricity is out.
Yeah.
Because it's just the thing. I mean, people always want to go to. They always kind of want to go to the theaters. Like the theater is hopping on Christmas Day.
Sure.
And so there are some businesses where, you know, there's no way around it. The business is going to be open, and so a lot of those days aren't going to be that hard work. Mm-hmm. So, but as for businesses where the workers are going to be like put through hell on Labor Day, that sucks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about places that are like retail places and things like
Yeah.
that they are not going to lose any money not being open
Well,
today.
Walmart's 100% open on Labor
Right.
Day, right?
Walmart
Yeah.
and Target and Kroger and all those places.
Yeah.
You ain't hurting nobody being closed today.
As far as I know, there's never a good day to be an employee at Walmart. From stories I've heard, like
Yeah.
it's just always bad. So I'm sure Labor Day is no exception.
Yeah. Labor Day.
Labor Day, Nancy.
I don't really have many thoughts on Labor Day. I'm
Okay.
kind of with you though, like certain kind of businesses and stuff that if they're open for the day, they don't necessarily need to be, especially if there's something that caters working people more.
Yeah.
Because that's a federal holiday.
Yeah.
Like schools are closed, a lot of state offices are
Yeah.
closed.
Like anything.
If they cater to people who do that, there's no real point in making your employees work
Yeah.
on those
Yeah.
kinds of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I think about another thing I think about with Labor Day is, do you remember the website homestarrunner.com? It was a cartoon. It has the character Strong Bad.
I know.
It's what Trogdor, the dragon.
Yeah.
Like Trogdor.
Yeah.
So they had a little like a Strong Bad. The character used to have this segment called Strong Bad Emails, and they had a 5-minute episode specifically about Labor Day. I just remember him saying Labor Daber. And that's what I think about when I think. It's all I think about. Anytime somebody brings up Labor Day, I'm like, Labor Daber. That's all. I was
Wow.
obsessed with that stuff in middle school. So
Permanently implanted into his brain.
yeah,
Nothing wrong with that, I guess.
something, right?
So the next one on the list is Columbus Day. Who cares?
Moving on.
Veterans Day.
So when is Veterans Day?
Veterans Day is Friday, November the 10th.
Well,
this year.
isn't Columbus?
Oh,
Go
well,
back.
yeah,
Isn't,
technically it'd be
isn't Columbus Day sort of like being like reinvented though to Indigenous Peoples Day? Like,
Sure.
Isn't a lot of people are more so doing that
If
now?
that is what we are calling
Yeah.
it, then yes.
Okay.
If we're calling it
That'll be
Columbus Day,
That'll be.
I don't care.
That would be if that became more common. That'd be a really good like reinvention
Sure.
of that holiday.
Sure.
It's what it should have.
That's what it should have always been anyway to start with.
But back to when is what would you say? Veterans Day.
Veterans Day
When's that?
is on the 11th, but which is
September?
November.
Oh, okay. That's
which is a Saturday, but it'll be celebrated on a Friday because of
So what is
Yeah.
that's October? When is
November.
It? November.
Oh, we forgot Halloween.
What are you
Duh.
doing, dude? What
Duh.
are you doing? It's like, what are you doing? Passing up
We
one
don't
of the
talk- we don't talk about
one of the big
Halloween.
three. Passing up one of the big
You forgot
three.
Halloween, which is our wedding anniversary.
Halloween's a big one now.
Well, I'm in the doghouse now.
Okay, Halloween.
Well, podcast is canceled because I will no longer be on this earth after this one. So
Halloween's a big one. Yeah, Halloween.
this is Halloween.
Halloween is the actual day of Halloween is never. I never do anything on Halloween. I know some people, you trick or treat when you're young, but I think that the lead up to Halloween.
I trick or treat now. What are you talking about?
I don't trick or treat, but
I don't
I think
either.
the lead up to Halloween, there's like a general feeling of that sometimes I feel it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, this was nothing. This was nothing. But this past year, I actually watched. I'm pretty sure I watched a horror movie every night leading up to Halloween. I think that's the first time I ever did that. I usually do something horror related on Facebook. I do like a horror movie tournament or a horror character tournament. So I really try to force myself into the holiday because it's a holiday that I want to love again. I feel that way about most of those holidays
Sure.
that you loved when you was a kid. Halloween is no different. I'm hoping we can have like some cool Halloween parties or costume parties this upcoming Halloween, or do something.
Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah, something.
We're
and,
gonna.
And it's something big happened on this past Halloween.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Didn't
It's
it?
just another
Yeah,
day.
Just another
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, you want to get into that?
Oh, I mean, well, that's more of a personal thing. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's like.
Still
it
on
is
the day, though.
all right. It is
on the day.
our wedding. It is our wedding anniversary. That's right.
The 1 year anniversary this year.
Right, but again, it's just another day to us.
That's true. I mean, it was our dating anniversary before
Sure.
that, so
Yeah.
just another day.
But
But
that's not going to play into which holiday I think is the best though.
Yes,
So
it is.
no, I don't think it
I'm
will.
joking. So I mean, going to your all's wedding reception last year was probably like the first time I've done anything on Halloween in a long time. So it gave me something of purpose to do at least. Usually I don't do anything on Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, here it is. The day is here.
Yeah.
And I'm just home watching something.
We usually just help with our nieces and stuff on Halloween. That's what we've done the last 2 or 3 years. But because they are, of course, they're big into Halloween and
Yeah.
big
When you're
into
young, it's a
candy
It's
and
cool,
dressing
it's super
up.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still love Halloween. I love the like you said, the whole ambiance of Halloween and leading up to it and seeing the cool decorations people have and the spooky nature and all.
Yeah.
It's cool. Ooh, making a hard argument for myself now.
We like the lead up to Halloween too because we buy a lot of our regular home decor
That
from
is
the
true.
Halloween section.
Yeah.
And November the 1st, when all that Halloween decor goes on sale too, is when
It just can't. As much as I want it to be my favorite, it just can't. It's just
Right.
not. It's just not there. There was a time.
I understand.
There was a time, when you're dressing up for this stuff as a kid, I almost view it now as dark Easter. They're very similar.
Dark Easter.
It's very similar if you're a kid. They're both very.
This is where we celebrate the halls of Satan.
they're both very candy oriented. If you're a kid, and
True.
you're trick or treating and picking up stuff as a kid on Halloween. Then on Easter, you're doing Easter egg hunts. There's a lot of parallels between those two. If you're just thinking about the surface level of the holidays, but yeah. But
Devil's Night.
Halloween. I mean, they're both great if you're young, and even as an adult, Halloween can be really great.
Sure, it can be super fun. Super
We have a lot
fun.
of years left, and maybe we can make Halloween great again.
I was gonna say,
Devil's Night.
there's always a lot of people that have conflicting opinions on like how old people who trick or treat should be too. It's always a discussion
cares,
every
right?
year for some reason.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I feel like if older kids are comfortable with like dressing up and they want to go out and have fun and do something like that, then I feel like they're not harming anything.
There
Just means I gotta buy more candy.
There probably is. This probably does exist in some community, but they should have like an elder trick or treat where the things that are handed out to adults are specifically aimed towards adults. Like they should have like fruits and vegetables handed out, and like maybe like hand out like coffee and tea.
Yeah.
And not just candy's cool. I'm still gonna eat the candy. But when you get a little bit older, like I can't eat that candy the way you used to.
All right, Josh. What would you like? Would you like Tylenol, Advil, Tums, or CBD oil?
And in Logan, trunk or treat is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it
you
is.
You see those pictures online. That's awesome. That the schools even do that. Like the grade schools have their own trick or treat during the day inside the parking lot. Like families and like parents will design their trunk, and that's just super cool.
We did that. We did that one year. For the arts, and we did it.
Mr.
We
Rogers,
did.
right?
We did. We did Chapmanville's and we did Logan's. And we had a blast doing that. It was fun. Getting to see all the kids' costumes. They had real quick. There was two little kids that was dressed up as Paul McCartney and John Lennon from Abbey Road.
Oh, gosh.
I'll show you the picture because we took a picture of
we
it.
took a picture
And
of
they knew everything. Like they were talking in like the British accents and all. It was very, very cute. But yeah, the trunk or treat stuff is really fun to do, especially because you're making little kids happy.
I don't even know if that's like globally or just like in America if that's a big thing, but I know in like Appalachia culture, I mean that's a big thing, especially in southern West Virginia. So
well, for a lot of people now, the trunk or treat stuff feels more, for lack of a better term, safe. It's more out in the open and in a congregated area compared to just walking up to somebody's house.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah. Anything else about Halloween?
I think we covered everything that ever needed to be talked about with Halloween. It's a good one.
It's a good one.
I'd have it.
It's
a top tier.
It's a front runner.
He might be like
he might
be my 2 actually.
So Veterans Day.
We have 10 holidays left, right?
10.
Just kidding.
Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Which we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Again, should be a holiday that we celebrate. That should be the holiday for veterans, my opinion.
Yeah, surely there's no school on Veterans Day, right? Surely,
no.
Right? Okay.
No.
Yeah. I think even I get off work on that day. So yeah.
All right, it's time for the 2 heavy hitters.
Well, we got a few more.
Few more.
Yeah, we got 3 more. We got 3 more holidays.
we didn't do New Year's yet.
Oh well, New Year's comes.
If you want to get precise, we got 4.
4.
But I know what the next one is. The next one's probably Thanksgiving.
Yes, Thanksgiving is next. 4.
Yeah, just very tedious.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll let you go with it. Thanksgiving.
It seems
food.
There's an ongoing theme with me with all these holidays.
Food.
It's the exception of maybe Memorial Day, which is always consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to enjoy all these holidays more in my youth. I think there was a time Thanksgiving was the top dog. It was the best.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say even as late as age 20, age 21, I thought Thanksgiving was the best
Right.
holiday. You get a little bit older. We used to travel to Barbersville or around Huntington, around that area, and we take
Yeah.
Route 10, which is a very windy,
Oh, God.
very windy road. And when
I'm
I got
sorry.
a little older, I get car sick a lot easier. And I started to notice that in my mid to late 20s that I would get actually car sick, and I wouldn't be able to enjoy Thanksgiving. So that really put a damper on Thanksgiving for me because
Yeah.
I started working night shift, and I stopped going. I was like, I literally just got off work. Like, I'm not going to get on this road to celebrate. Even though I'd like to and see my family and eat this food, but I can't. Whenever I get there, I can't enjoy it because I legitimately feel sick to my stomach. Now this past year we did move it. We moved it literally 100 yards away from my house at my my grandma's church inside the little luncheon hall or dinner hall. So that was very convenient. And if we continue that trade, which was very weird because it was just so different than what we usually do. If we continue that trade, I'll continue to have Thanksgiving with them. Which, I mean, I've been having Thanksgiving with you all.
Yeah.
Not on Thanksgiving Day, right? But
Right.
we've been doing.
We usually do it the weekend before.
Yeah, the Sunday before. So
Yeah.
that's been really good. Anybody who welcomes me in to have Thanksgiving with them is always a good time because I just really didn't want to go to Barbersville.
Well, you know you're
That
always
road.
welcome. with
I'm not
us.
going to come now.
Okay.
I don't like to be welcome. I
That's
like
fine.
to make up my own.
That's fine. That's more turkey for the
But
rest
yeah,
of us.
I did. I remember my senior year of high school. I forgot what class. It was like a speech class or something, or like a writing comprehension class, where we had to do an essay on what our favorite holiday was.
Yeah.
And mine was Thanksgiving. I was saying some crazy stuff in that. I was like, it's like, yeah, Thanksgiving saves lives. It saves lives. I remember I said something like that. And I remember the teacher was like, she left a note. She's like, I don't know about this point. I was like, that's accurate. I agree with that. It probably doesn't save lives. Yeah, liked it a lot more in my youth. There's not a lot surrounding Thanksgiving. Like, there's not a big build up to Thanksgiving like Halloween and Christmas. I don't think
Sure.
Thanksgiving is specifically that day,
Yes.
sort of thing, and it
Yeah.
can be very enjoyable if you have good food. And I guess if you love the NFL, I mean, I never watch. I watch one game a year, and I just watched it this past week, the Super Bowl.
You are forgetting the best part.
What am I forgetting?
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I used to watch it. Just don't watch a second of it.
I don't
now.
watch a second of it
A
anymore
second
either.
of it.
But it's still
It
pretty
is
cool.
a Green
though.
Day song and their best song.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I used to love that parade.
Yeah.
I used to love watching that, but I'm just like, oh, I'm jaded now. I don't care about this. Let me hear more about what you all have to think about, because I know you all probably like it more than I do.
I mean, you summed it up pretty much. It's, I mean, I do enjoy spending time with the people that I care about on the holidays. It's always, to me, Thanksgiving is mostly enjoyable when I am with you all, because it's our place, it's our dinner that we make. You know, it's more of a personal thing. I granted I do like going to Nancy's parents and being with the nieces and stuff, but there's just something special about being in my own home and being with you and being with Taryn when she comes over and stuff. And it's just nice. It's a nice little. Just a lot of preparation that goes into it and everything, especially for us, because it feels collective too, because we all make the menu.
Yeah.
Like, you'll pick something and I'll pick something and Nancy will pick something. You know, so
Yeah.
I just love it.
I mean, that'll be what I view as Thanksgiving from here on out. Like, I'll still celebrate with my family, but this past Thanksgiving, like the one I mentioned where we went to the new place for my grandma's church, another like energy drainer. I was there for an hour and I was just kind of done. Luckily, I could just walk home. It was 100 yards away. But yeah, I don't know. Whenever I'm around people that I'm not around that often, my social battery just runs out very quickly. But if I'm around people that I'm used to being around or around at least like twice a month, I mean, I'm able to maintain my energy for at least 3 or 4 hours.
Sure.
So that's what I enjoy now, is us modernizing Thanksgiving to what we want it to be now. So we're taking it back.
Yeah.
We're making it our own now.
We're making Thanksgiving great again.
Yeah. Halloween's next.
What about you, love?
I've always enjoyed Thanksgiving and Christmas too. I really enjoy cooking and baking, as you know, both of you know.
definitely do.
And a lot of those recipes and stuff like that I use are ones that I got from my dad and that I've kind of tailored to my own thing because whenever I was like little, like couldn't even reach the counter, just I would stand on a chair to reach the counter. He would have me like basting turkeys and like helping him mash potatoes and stuff like that. So Thanksgiving and Christmas have always been holidays that I've felt very involved in and that will always be very special to me just because of those experiences that I had. And my family doesn't do like a lot of other families do. We don't like grandma, grandpa, everybody get together. It's always just been like my parents and my sister and me, and now we have the nieces and we have you now too. But it's always just been very special to me because
Big house. Big house.
yes, that's being able to just learn a lot of those skills and stuff like that from him and just always feeling very involved. And even though I was not very good at it back then, he still made me feel like I was the best in the world at it. So it's influenced who I am as a person and how I celebrate those holidays now and bring them into our own home. So
That's good. You're being too wholesome now, Nancy. This is not that. This podcast is mean. Okay, we don't like wholesome. No, that's good. I'm glad.
So a side holiday, Black Friday. Black.
was that the
That's
other
not
holiday
Friday.
that
That is
Caleb had in
not. That
mind?
is.
I don't know.
That is not one of the ones I was talking about.
He
Oh.
was talking about Cyber Monday. He doesn't like going out with people.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It's Cyber
Honestly,
Monday.
Cyber Monday might as well be Black Friday now. They start
That's
that stuff
true.
like the week of.
Well, it's like-
Thanksgiving.
well-
which I do. Honestly, I do love that stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Well, Walmart does their
Walmart
Black
does it
Friday deals
all
the whole
through-
month.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Walmart. I'm going to order all my stuff online.
Well, you can order it online for pickup.
I'm not going to. No, screw Walmart. I'm not going to do that. I'm going
Okay.
to order from cool places. Okay.
Yeah, like shoe department.
Josh. I will never buy shoes from shoe department.
What you got to get in shoe department?
I just don't like their shoes.
Well, so much for our sponsorship.
Sorry, shoe department. Don't want you.
Shoe show now.
Shoe show, shoe carnival. They do have that really cool
All these
spinning
places.
wheel.
All these places.
They're all owned by the same
They're all the
people.
exact same place, and they've all like. Most of them have stopped selling Nike. So I'm like, oh,
Well, so much for our sponsorships.
no Nike.
Yeah, right.
I weirdly saw Nike whenever we went shopping yesterday at like TJ Maxx and Ross. They had a bunch of Nike
Yeah.
stuff.
You'll get some lower, like if you go to like a Kohl's too, like
Mm-hmm.
you'll find some Nike, some cheaper Nike there. So.
Well, that brings us to Christmas.
So one of the ones I was talking about, because it is kind of its own thing, which it still falls under Christmas, but it is Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve and
Oh, okay.
Christmas. But
Sure.
honestly, Christmas is December. If I'm just being honest with you, because Christmas Day is never as good as what the collective month brings. Like
Sure.
I've never had a better time on Christmas Day than I do on the lead up. It's sort of similar to Halloween, but I think it's better. I think Christmas is definitely the best holiday. And
Ooh.
it's
Hot take.
is
Hot
it?
take.
That
It's
is
not a
not-
hot take
that-
because it is also my favorite.
That is not a hot
holiday
take.
and the best.
Well, here's the thing about Christmas is that just like all these other holidays, it was definitely way better and more special when I was a kid. At one point you get to an age where you're like, I don't want to ask for anything. I don't want anything, and that is good because that is growth.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
the element of receiving gifts or whatever that I like most is just buying gifts for something.
Yeah.
Like the tables have turned on this. So I'm like I don't necessarily want gifts. I mean, if you give me something, I'll be grateful, and I love that. But I just really like to buy gifts for people.
We're the worst. Well, me and Nancy are absolutely the worst because we will get something for something, and we will buy Christmas gifts months in advance.
Yeah.
Well, I started
stuff.
in
If you see it,
Yeah.
if you see it, and you're like, "This is my opportunity. I got to get this
You're
right now."
you're already buying stuff.
That's true. Usually,
Wait till November.
There's stuff in the floor over
yes,
there.
there is
that's-
stuff already in the floor over there that I bought for Christmas gifts
Yeah.
for this year.
And-
But I have 4 nieces,
Oh yeah.
so it's rough out here.
I have 2, and I just ask my sister, like, what do they want?
Well-
She'll give me a list, like, okay, this is doable. I can get these.
The thing of it is, though, is that like I will get something for someone, and especially before like pre-COVID, when we went places to shop or went places just to go grocery shopping or something like that, she would have to cut me off because I would be like, "Oh, I'm going to get that for them for Christmas. They really like that. You've already bought them like 6 things,
You start to pick out some foolish stuff. Like, what am I doing? Why am I picking this out?
why are you shaking your head?"
Nah, it's the truth. We all do it.
We all do it.
There was
I'm
one
the
year.
same
I remember
way.
one of the first years where I actually like had like money and like had a job and stuff, and I would just went to Walmart and was Christmas shopping. I was just buying stupid stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we need this Vicks vaporizer. It's like one of us is gonna be sick eventually. You know, we have used that.
Yeah.
It's just we haven't used it as frequently as I was expecting.
Yeah.
Whenever I think it's a winter, I'm like, oh, we're gonna have the cold. We're gonna need this Vicks vaporizer. Just buying stuff like that. Like that's just like this is kind of just for everybody. But yeah, Christmas was obviously more special in a sense when you're younger. It feels a little bit more like Christmas. Christmas has definitely become more like. It's sort of like McDonald's. McDonald's used to be like this fun play place that was like colorful, and now it's just like a cafe kind of. Christmas has sort of moved towards that, where it's always been commercialized, and they've always wanted like to profit off of it.
Yeah.
But it did seem to be a little bit more special in the '90s. That's just us speaking from nostalgia, a '90s thing.
Yeah.
But I still get tons of enjoyment out of it. Like similar to Halloween. I was watching Christmas movies nearly every night this past year because it's one of those holidays where like I you know what, if I'm not going to be into it, I'm going to force myself to be into this year. And I've never gotten to the place where I used to feel, you know, but I still very much enjoy Christmas. Obviously, weather, things getting hotter outside doesn't help the Christmas environment sometimes. But this last Christmas, we had a very, very cold Christmas, like very cold, a very snowy Christmas, which sort of sucked, but it was also like, hey, it looks like Christmas outside. So that's something that we don't get very often. Usually we get like a 50 degrees Christmas.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
it's my favorite. I would say that it's not even close. I think that it's not. I'm just being honest with you. It's my favorite.
So it brings us to New Year's. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Yeah, I love these too.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, especially. I don't do much on New Year's Day.
New Year's Day, you're recovering.
I'm never recovering. I'm not a big partier. But the times that
I do.
The times that I have got together with friends, it has been fun. There's some New Year's Eve where I don't get together with friends. Mm-hmm. I'm home watching some movies or something with my dad, and my mom, and that's cool too. Yeah. I like that. I always find something interesting to do to stay up past midnight.
Yeah.
Whether that be hanging out with people or finding illegal screeners of Oscar movies. I remember specifically 2018. I found Green Book, the Oscar screen. It was not. I didn't watch it in theaters until later, but I found it illegally because screeners come out, and I remember I spent the night. We watched Green Book that night. I was like, oh. This better not win Best Picture is what I was saying to myself. But this is solid.
Well, you were...
It won eventually.
You were solely mistaken.
Yeah, I like New Year's Eve.
Yeah, New Year's Eve's not bad. Not a bad little holiday
good.
at all.
If you can find a good way to enjoy it with people...
and be safe.
It can be a good time. You know, it'll be safe, definitely.
New Year's?
I never celebrated New Year's Eve until I started dating you, actually. So... I've enjoyed it. I associate it completely and totally with you and with our friends and stuff, and I've always had a really good time. And then, of course, New Year's Day for you, I make you cabbage roll soup.
Yes.
Every year. So.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Always delish.
Yeah,
always delish.
I'm always my history with New Year's Eve is very unique. Like, always trying to find something to do. I remember vividly. One of the best double features I went to the movies to watch, and it wasn't, you weren't there, but I went with our friends Chris and Justin, and we went to the Marquee Theater in Charleston, and we watched the double feature that day of American Hustle and The Wolf of Wall Street. Whew, those are long movies.
You were in there for about 7 hours, give or take.
Oh yeah, and Wolf of Wall Street was the late movie. We watched it at like maybe 9 that night. So we were there past midnight. But it was just a good. I look back on that. That was a good time. I remember one time me, you, and Nathan went to. It wasn't a great time, but we still went to the movies to watch Into the Woods on New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah,
not a great movie, but we made something out of it.
Into the Woods.
Yeah, we went and watched Into the Woods. I'm like, we gotta watch something. There clearly wasn't much out at the time because we watched Into the Woods. Which I did not love. It was very exhausting.
Yeah.
So much singing. Talk about it. That is a musical. Yeah. My gosh.
It very, very much.
But I'm always trying to find something.
Yeah.
Something to make new memories of that day, and just trying to build back that American Hustle, Wolf of Wall Street. That's never gonna.
Maybe this year, if there's some good stuff out, we'll do that this year.
I mean,
who knows?
The closest we came, we watched the Babylon pretty soon after New Year's, and
Yeah.
that's probably about the close. If we could have watched Babylon and another movie that day, but man, we don't got that in us anymore.
No.
Babylon's 3 hours
Listen,
long.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky to get through a 3-hour movie anymore.
Yeah,
My goodness.
it better keep my attention. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Babylon did though.
Yeah, Babylon.
We've talked
I
about
love
that. Go back to
Babylon.
the previous episode. You can hear us talk about Babylon.
Yeah, it was like our first episode maybe that we
I
talked
think
about
so.
Babylon.
I think so.
Or maybe the second episode. I don't know.
First or second.
Yeah, one of those episodes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, Caleb, you've pretty much said that Christmas is your favorite
I
holiday.
didn't pretty much say it. I said it.
Oh, I know.
It just
That's-
is. And if do we want to rank our top 3 after we say what our favorite is here?
Sure.
Okay,
we can do that.
What's your all's favorite then?
Go ahead.
Mine is obviously Christmas. I mean, you all both know me very well. I'm a December birthday too, and I do Christmas stuff for my birthday too.
yeah.
So
Sure.
that's how much I love Christmas.
So, mine is Washington's birthday.
Shut up, Josh.
I mean, I don't want to cop out and say Christmas because it's
I mean, it is
It's
what
not
it
a
is.
cop-out, though.
It is
It's
what
a
it is.
cop out.
It's
Josh
a
just
really
wants
good
to be
holiday.
different.
Yeah.
We covered all the holidays, so it's okay for us to just say Christmas is our
Sure,
favorite.
sure. By hook or by crook, it's Christmas. So, Caleb, what would you say your number 2 is?
I guess Halloween.
Same.
Yet again,
Same.
just the feeling of trying to get that feeling
Yeah.
is enough.
And the
for
lead
me
up to it.
sometimes.
The lead
That's
up
what I
to it,
mean.
like
The
I
lead
said.
up
Yeah.
and build up to.
Yeah.
Just trying to like make my social media like all things horror or Halloween.
Yeah.
And getting other people invested in that is always a fun time.
I'm putting Thanksgiving at number 2, but that's just because I really like to cook and I really like to bake.
Yeah.
I enjoy it though because like
Yeah.
I spend really for me it's like a week of prep time whenever we put our thing together. You know, I get our menu and do all the shopping, I make desserts and like I plan everything out. So I mean there's a lot of that hype and lead up for me in Thanksgiving that you all don't necessarily have
Sure.
comparatively.
Sure.
What's
Number 3.
No, what's your second?
I said Halloween. I agreed
Oh,
with
did you?
you.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, my bad. 3. Gosh, this is a toss up, a major toss up between Memorial Day and New Year's Eve. But since Christmas, Christmas Eve and Christmas, I spend time with the same exact family
Yeah.
both days in a row.
Yeah.
Since I got that, I'll leave Memorial Day out since it's the same family that I see, and put in New Year's Eve because it's more friend oriented.
Yeah.
And I think we'll have some good future New Year's Eves.
Yeah.
And
I was actually it was a toss up between Thanksgiving and New Year's for me, but just based on what you said, I would have to agree with you. You
I think the potential
kind
New
of-
Year's Eve is pretty grand.
You gave me the little push over the edge
Yeah.
for New Year's, so I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
You
Halloween will be my number 3.
Halloween's your number 3. Gasp.
Halloween.
Well,
My second
who had the
favorite.
best list, y'all?
Well, let the people vote now.
But so we discussed holidays. We think Christmas is the best, and then the rest of them are a little bit of
It's
toss-ups.
just so overpowering.
It is.
I just think like it's the one that the general public and advertisers like push on you the most, and it kind of works. it just
Plus,
does.
it has the Grinch. So
And Rankin and Bass.
And like
Right.
we said, us becoming adults, we've sort of flipped what Christmas is, and us becoming like the ones, the givers.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. All right. So
Rankin Bass too. Yeah.
Rankin Bass.
I watched a lot of Rankin. I watched the most Rankin Bass I've watched in years this past Christmas.
Well,
It's your turn.
yes.
Okay.
My
Erica
turn.
did it last week,
Erica
yeah.
did it last week, and then you picked 80s albums.
Okay. God, I hope it's a good. I hope it's a
Oh,
good
God,
one.
I hope it's
it's
good.
not like holidays.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Okay. Caleb, you and I are going to book a music festival next week.
Oh no.
We're gonna
man,
book
I
a
didn't know that was
We're
in
going to
there.
book a music festival, 3-day festival.
Our own festivals
Our
or
own
together?
festival.
Together or separate? Ooh, that's a tough one, Josh. Is it going to be? Are we going to have to come together to build a festival together, or our own separate festivals?
Can I make a suggestion
Yes.
and say do your separate festivals? You don't have to do it like a draft where there can be no overlap, but I think that you should do your separate ones and have people vote on which festival they would go to.
I don't like that. I don't like that because Josh wins.
No, mine would actually be bands that mine is going to be my festival, if I want to go to a festival, this is who I'm going to have on that festival. It is going to be the Josh Brown-a-Palooza. Is what
Here's
it's
what we
going to
could
be.
do. You know how there's multiple days of festivals? Day 1 could be your festival. Day 2 could be mine. And if we want people to vote, they can still vote. But,
Sure.
Obviously, we'll share it. Like, if people can listen to the episode and hear what we have to say, but we can do a visual to show like what the festival. Maybe do like a cool visual. I'm sure Nancy could make something pretty cool looking and make it actually look like a festival lineup.
Sure.
And call it the Chat from a Hat Festival.
I tell you what, we'll do day 1 is you, day 2 is me, day 3 we have to compromise and put 2 and pick our people that we want.
So day 3 we'll have acts that were in day 1 and day 2.
Yeah. So day 3 will be.
We can do that.
All right. So that's
podcast canceled. We're not going to do
podcast canceled because Caleb and I are going to fight.
Literally
fist fight.
What if we pick the same bands somehow, some way?
We probably will.
You will.
We will.
I don't think we will. Though.
Well, I tell you what. Then that's what we'll do. Then if you and I pick a band and they're on both days,
they immediately
have to go into day 3.
Yeah. Okay. So they won't be in day 1 or day 2.
Oh, they'll be in day 1 or day 2, but they will also have to be in day 3.
Okay.
So that'll be fun. That'll
be a good one.
How many acts? One stage. So
maybe 10.
10 or 12.
Yeah.
We'll say 12.
Yeah.
Okay. So 12 bands.
Can't be having 20 acts, 25
Wait,
acts.
no.
That's
all right.
That's implausible. Can't do that.
Can't do it.
They'll never. They'll be 10-minute acts. 10 minutes.
That would be like the When We're Young festival when everybody got to play like 9 songs and that's it.
I think 9 songs is pushing it. I think Bayside played about 6 or 7 songs.
It'll be When We Chat from a Hat instead of When We Were Young.
Oh my God. There's a reason why Nancy's only on 1 episode.
I'll be back.
We'll bring her back next
week. All right. So, Caleb, any parting words?
No, that was a good one. It's always good to have an episode like this where there's no research to be done. You're just speaking about your own experiences or something. So that was good that I didn't have to like spend a week trying to like put stuff together. It's just like these things are already in my brain.
Sure.
So it was nice. Yeah.
Thank you for having me on here today.
Well, you're very welcome. Well, folks, thank you for joining us here at Chat from a Hat. Caleb, where can people find us?
They can find us on Facebook by typing in Chat from a Hat. You can also do that on Instagram and Twitter. And you can listen to us wherever you stream your podcast.
Absolutely. Well, folks, join us next week where we will be booking our own music festival. It's going to be fun. It's going to be very fun. So we will talk to you next week.